Have you ever wanted to learn a new skill but didn't know where to start? Well, you've come to the right place. We are about to embark on a journey, a 30-day challenge, where we'll explore the art of mastering a new skill. We live in an era where the ability to learn, adapt, and apply new skills is highly treasured. But the question is, how can you learn a new skill effectively and efficiently? What's the secret sauce? This video will shed light on the methodologies that can make you an adept learner. In the next 10 minutes, we'll dive into how to choose a skill, set achievable goals, plan your learning path, and track your progress. We'll also walk through a practical example of acquiring a new skill within a month. So buckle up and get ready for a transformative journey. By the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap to follow to learn any skill you want in just 30 days. The 30-day challenge is a simple yet effective method to master a new skill. Now you might be wondering, what is this 30-day challenge all about? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. You commit to learning a new skill or improving an existing one every day consistently for 30 days straight. The beauty of this approach lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require you to overhaul your life or make drastic changes. Instead, it nudges you to take small, consistent steps towards your goal. The effectiveness of this method is not just theoretical, it's backed up by science. Research shows that it takes about 21 days to form a habit. By stretching it to 30 days, you're not only forming a new habit, but also reinforcing it, which increases the likelihood of it sticking. However, as easy as it may sound, the 30-day challenge requires commitment. It's not about dabbling in a new hobby for a few days and then moving on to the next shiny thing. It's about dedicating yourself to something even when it gets difficult, even when you don't see immediate results. The key is to be patient and persistent. Learning a new skill is like building a wall, brick by brick. You can't expect to see a wall after laying the first few bricks. But if you keep at it day after day, brick by brick, before you know it, you'll have a wall. The same principle applies to the 30-day challenge. You may not notice significant changes or improvements in the first few days or even the first few weeks. But don't let that discourage you. Remember, you're not just learning a new skill, you're also building a habit, and that takes time. The importance of consistency cannot be overstated here. It's what keeps you going even when the going gets tough. It's what helps you push through the plateaus and the setbacks. Consistency is what transforms a mere interest into a skill, a passion. Remember, the key to this challenge is consistency. Make sure to dedicate a specific amount of time each day to your new skill. The first step in this 30-day journey is to choose a skill and set your goals. Now, this is a pivotal point. The skill you choose should not only excite you, but also offer value, whether it's enriching your personal life or advancing your career. It could be anything from learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or even becoming proficient in a new software. The key here is to select a skill that aligns with your interests or career goals. The more invested you are in the subject matter, the more likely you are to stay committed throughout the process. Now that you've chosen your skill, it's time to set your goals. And we're not just talking about any goals, we're talking about SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's break that down. Your goal should be specific. Rather than saying, I want to learn Spanish, aim for, I want to learn conversational Spanish to hold casual conversations. This gives you a clear, defined objective. Secondly, make it measurable. Decide how you'll measure your progress. If we stick with a Spanish example, you might aim to learn 20 new phrases each day. Thirdly, your goal should be achievable. It's great to aim high, but remember the time frame. It's unlikely you'll become fluent in a new language in just 30 days, but you can certainly make significant progress. Next, your goal should be relevant. This loops back to choosing a skill that aligns with your interests or career goals. If you're planning a trip to Spain, learning Spanish is highly relevant. Lastly, your goal should be time-bound. Well, we've got that covered with our 30-day challenge. So to recap, a good SMART goal could be, in 30 days, I want to learn enough conversational Spanish to hold a 10-minute casual conversation. Remember, a well-defined goal will not only guide your learning process, but also keep you motivated. Your goal should not only be specific, but also achievable within the 30-day time frame. Once you've chosen your skill and set your goals, the next step is to plan your learning path. Planning is critical because it gives you a roadmap, a clear direction to follow, and a way to measure your progress. Without a plan, it's easy to lose focus and get overwhelmed. Now, you might be wondering, how do I create a learning plan? Well, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's all about breaking your skill down into smaller, manageable chunks. Let's say you want to learn to play the piano. You don't start by trying to master Beethoven's Fifth Symphony on day one. Instead, you break it down. You start with understanding the basics, like the layout of the keyboard and how to read music. Then you gradually build on that foundation, learning scales, chords, and simple songs. Creating a learning plan also involves being realistic about your time. It's vital to set aside dedicated time each day for learning and practicing your new skill. Whether it's 15 minutes or an hour, consistency is key. Remember, it's better to practice a little every day than to cram all your learning into one marathon session. Another important aspect of planning your learning path is flexibility. Life happens and there will be days when you can't stick to your plan. That's okay. The important thing is not to get discouraged. Adjust your plan as needed, but keep moving forward. Lastly, don't forget to plan for rest and reflection. Your brain needs downtime to process and consolidate what you've learned. Plus, taking a step back can give you a fresh perspective and help you overcome any obstacles you're facing. So, to recap, break your skill down into manageable chunks, set aside consistent time for learning, be flexible and plan for rest. These are the building blocks of a successful learning plan. Remember, the journey of learning a new skill is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about progress, not perfection. And every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. A well-structured plan is your roadmap to successfully learning a new skill in 30 days. With your learning plan in place, it's time to start learning and tracking your progress. Now, how do you actually learn? There's a big difference between passive learning and active learning. Passive learning is like sitting in a lecture or reading a textbook. While these methods can be useful, they often don't lead to deep understanding or skill acquisition. Active learning, on the other hand, involves engaging with the material in a hands-on way. This could be through exercises, projects, or problem solving. When you're actively learning, you're not just absorbing information, you're using it, playing with it, making it a part of you. So, whatever skill you're trying to learn in these 30 days, make sure you're actively engaged. If you're learning a new language, don't just listen to language tapes. Speak, write, and think in the language as much as you can. If you're learning to code, don't just read about it. Write code, debug it, and build something. Now let's talk about the importance of tracking progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you're learning something new, especially if you feel like you're not making progress. That's why it's crucial to track your progress and celebrate small wins. Maybe you've learned 20 new words in the language you're studying, or perhaps you've written your first program. These are significant achievements, and you should celebrate them. Remember, progress doesn't always look like a straight line. You might have days where you feel like you're not moving forward. But as long as you're putting in the effort and practicing consistently, you are making progress, even if it doesn't feel like it. And this brings us to the final point: consistency. Consistency is the secret sauce to learning anything new. It's better to practice a little bit every day than to cram all your learning into 1 or 2 long sessions. So set aside a specific time each day for your learning and stick to it. Consistent practice and tracking your progress are key to mastering your chosen skill. Congratulations, you've just completed the first step towards learning a new skill in 30 days. As we wind down this insightful journey, let's take a moment to recap the crucial points we've covered. We started by emphasizing the importance of choosing a skill and setting realistic, achievable goals. Then we moved on to creating a strategic learning path, ensuring a structured and organized approach to your learning experience. Finally, we discussed the significance of implementing your plan and keeping track of your progress, helping you stay focused and motivated throughout the journey. The next steps? It's quite simple, really. Take that leap of faith and commence your 30-day challenge. It may seem daunting, but remember, every expert was once a beginner. So harness your willpower, tap into your potential, and let the learning begin. Remember, learning a new skill is a journey. Start your journey today, and in 30 days you'll be amazed at how far you've come.